What's up, guys? I figured to do a little quick update on the 89 Stealth car. I say quick, and it'll be 20 minutes, but so for the most part, the chassis is done. All the electronics are in. You got the race tires, green compound, G Concepts ellipses for adrenaline in a couple weeks. We got some this is a JC Racing pink wheels. And if you remember on the last video, I was saying about the, oh man, I really got to redo these shocks. They didn't bleed right. It's like they pump up, but you can hear them. So I'm gonna have to take them back apart. But anyway, this is basically a stock cover, or copy of the stock cover from the 2013 Classic, and just right at the end. So good clearance, and honestly, I don't know really why they put the other one in this kit, other than expecting guys to upgrade to the B4 top shaft, because you don't need it for that slipper. That's all you needed. They could have just put the one in from a team car and been done with it. So, but anyway, I digress. So everything's all wired up, ready to go. So installed this earlier this afternoon. So before I had this here, the guy I'm building it for, he was getting parts together and to send me, because I had ordered the kit, and he was getting, the electronics and stuff together, and he said something about a bell crank. He's like, which he had a J Concepts bell crank and something else. And he's like, which one of these should we use? And I said, well, you can't use either one, because the servo arm is on, when it's in the car, it's on the right side. And on this car, it needs to be on the left. And I had said, really the only one that could get one out quick for the public would be Jeff at Factory Works, because his bell crank kits have both of them, one left and one right. So, for multiple applications. So it was really just a matter of making the new center link for it. So I had asked Jeff, sent him a text, and I said, hey, are you planning on making a new center link, or narrower center link for the Stealth kit? And he said, I don't remember if he had gotten his by then. I don't think so. I think everyone was still kind of waiting for theirs. And he said something about when he gets it, look into it, but most likely something along those lines. So I get this kit and start putting it together and stuff, and I reached out to him again. I said, hey, did you do anything with that bell crank? And he's like, I haven't even built my car yet. So, he was going to get to it. And then I don't remember what happened. Something like some material didn't show up or whatever. So he was a little held up. So he threw his kit together and got to work on a new center link. And then he got it all done and asked me what color I wanted. And I said, let's just go with white, so it kind of mimics what was in there. And he got it sent out. So you can go on Factory Works site. That's listed. I think he has towers listed. He has a carbon battery brace and stuff. He has a couple things. for these cars now. So, but yeah, so works all nice. The only thing you got to do is, because they really moved the servo ahead on these, is you got to notch around the bell crank, or you got to notch the servo horn around the bell crank. Even it's like, it's still kind of tight. I left it kind of tight. It probably could have took a little bit more out, but it doesn't touch. So yeah, so I already got hop-ups in it. So yeah, I think that's about it. Got to paint the body yet and get it all trimmed out and mounted and get stickers on, and then we'll be basically ready to roll. So while I'm doing this, I might as well do kind of like a midweek update, like a lot of the other guys are doing. Let's get this over here. So I did a video on this a little while ago. It's long arm B3. I haven't really come up with a name for it yet, but anyway, if you go back to the old one I had with excuse me, Michael Vollmer is releasing his what's the name of it? The Vitec Symbiosis. And it's a 10 scale buggy, but on his build, he used 10 T-arms. And I'd always liked that car, and had wanted to do something with truck arms, you know, make a buggy with truck arms at some point. So when he decided to make some parts, and he's going to start releasing the car, it got my brain working, and I started messing around on a couple different cars, trying to figure out what would work the best to put truck arms on. So I ended up messing with my B2 and basically turned it into a B3 with T2, like the later T2 GT truck A-arms. Came up with a new taller front shock tower. I told Jeff kind of what I needed, and he drew it up for me. And I said, yeah, that looks good, and he cut it. And initially, when I put it back together with the new tower, I had a bunch of droop, and the front, like, just, I kind of wished I would have went like a couple millimeters taller. It's like the chassis just didn't touch the ground, and I felt like I wanted it to go down just a little bit more. So what I ended up doing, and I didn't really want to do it, but I took, you can see it from the backside, but I drilled another hole lower on the arm, and then disced the arm out to get clearance for the shock rod end, like so. So that gave me the droop that I was looking for. Maybe even, I actually have these the shock rod ends turned down just a little bit to give a little bit more, but I might turn them back in, but it's not bad. But now the chassis hits the ground, shocks collapse it, or bottom out at the same point. So that's all done and figured out. The back is all figured out, which is basically B3 hubs, the truck arms, and B4 CVDs. And I got to put together another, I got a CVA on this side. I got to dig out another CVA axle for the bone that's over there, because I don't want to use these, the older style B4 CVDs in this car. I have another build that I want those for, and they're new, so I don't want them getting beat up. So yeah, I still just got to get turnbuckles for this thing, and I got a body coming, I got tires coming for it, and I'm probably planning on racing it in the Y2K class at the Vintage Nats. It'll be 17.5, and so I think it's going to do pretty good. But I'm going to take my other B3, my stock B3, and just so I get kind of I'll run it, and I'll run this, and just try and get an idea of like how different they are. And yeah, but I'll get some laps on it at the Vintage Nats, and then at the end of October we're gonna have another RC10 Talk Fall Brawl at Insanity. So the track is probably going to be a little blown out by then, a little more blown out by then. So the longer arms on this, it may help. I mean, my B3 gets around there pretty good, so as it is, but and my B2, but a little longer arm, a little more plush. But yeah, and eventually I made up a front bumper for it quick because the original one wasn't going to work anymore. And like I pointed out on the other one, the truck arms are much wider in the hinge pin area compared to the B3 and the T3 arms. So I already talked to my buddy Joe. This is not focusing. I already talked to my buddy Joe, so we're going to make, or he's going to make, a one-piece spacer, basically, that, why is that not? Because I just stacked up a bunch of hinge pin braces. So we're going to make a one-piece mount, or one-piece spacer, that will tie in to the front bulkhead holes on the bottom. So if you don't know, the bulkhead on these, it only mounts, there's two holes back here, or two screws back here, and they're right here, like there and there. So the original front bumper is like steps, so it drops down in that void and then is flat to cover the kick up. So when I made the bumper, I just put cut a small piece in there. It's like a 1/16, and then lay this over top. So what we're going to do is make the spacer, but have a tab on it, and it will go, it'll basically mount to the front of the bulkhead through those two holes. And then I'll just put this bumper over top of it. So the spacer will get sandwiched between the bumper and the bulkhead, and probably going to try and figure out a way to like attach it in here somewhere. So we'll see what happens when the time comes. Right now I just want to get it together on the track and try it out. You know, I'm gonna try not hammering the crap out of it. So, but you know, there's a lot of, being as though that's not connected there, just a lot of problems. I could see the hinge pin were just like, well, it probably wouldn't do that because I got enough braces in there, but you know, it could bend the hinge pin pretty good, or you know, even crack the bulkhead. So, but we'll see. So I'm not gonna beat the hell out of it. So I just want to race it and see how it works compared to the stock one. So, all right. So it's been long, almost 15 minutes, long enough. One last thing. So there's a lot of these nifty kind of car stands around. So Jeff started making some of these. They're carbon fiber and aluminum. So he sent me one with that. When he sent that steering bell crank out, he sent me one of these to check out. So you can Line up your arms up there. And you can display your cars. So, figured I'd just show that quick. You just go on Factory Works site, and I'm pretty sure he has them listed by now. So, any other parts for the Stealth car and whatever else kind of stuff you need. So, alrighty. That about does it. See you on the next one.